discipline seems pleasant at the time, it's actually painful, but there is a right harvest for those who are trained in this way. Selah. Think about that for just a minute. No discipline seems pleasant at the time. It's painful. But there is a right harvest for those who are trained in this way. Discipline is not supposed to be easy. It just isn't. It's submitting and doing the things that we don't necessarily want to do, or doing the things that don't necessarily come easy. And so as we've been on this journey the last 2 months, really diving into being disciplined, having self-control, having balance, living excellently, we come back to it again. And I want to come back to this because so many of you are mothers and fathers. And if you're not one now, you will probably end up being one. Or if you are not a mom or a dad anymore to small children, you might have grandchildren that you are influencing their lives. And so you have the ability to teach them and to be an authority figure in this way, and not in a taskmaster, give you body issues type of way, but in a way of authority, of that you have walked the road, you've learned what you've learned, you know what you know, you've battled what you've battled, so you stand on the other side with some amount of authority to teach and to guide. And as a parent, that is your job. This journey is not just about you. This is about what you will then teach your children, the boundaries you will begin to draw with food, and maybe even apathy, and exercise, and body image, and the things that you will be teaching your children or your grandchildren or your children to be, or the people in your life that look to you as an authority figure, as somebody that has the room to talk about it because you've walked the journey. It's hard to talk about this if you haven't walked the journey. And so I want to challenge you to your discipline not only being your own, but it being for the generations to come. And that being the status quo, that excellence and wholeness and wellness and fullness is what you desire for those who are coming after you, and those who are walking alongside of you, and those who, like your grandkids or something that you might not see every single day, but that you still do have the ability to speak into their lives. And that is so important. And so when we go back to that verse, and it's talking about the right harvest for those who are trained in this way. It's right decision making and right choices and right purpose, and it's making the better choice. It's free will still, but it's free will to make the right decision, to say, man, I am stuck in a rut. I need to get out. I don't know what's going on, and deciding to do that, and deciding to do what is right rather than throwing in the towel or going back to your old habits, but having the discipline and having the self-control and having the balance to go back to excellence every single time. And I know that we've talked about this, but I just don't feel like we could talk about it enough, because there are people that still are struggling in this journey, and that is okay. But if you're going back and you're making the same choices and the same decisions that were wrong to begin with, you've still got to be able to make the choice that, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick with this over the long haul, and I'm not going to try and buck this system of wellness, but I'm going to be disciplined to live this out all the time. And like any other habit, it can't be something that just poof, you got it. You have to choose it, and you have to choose it, and you have to choose it, and you have to choose it. And that is when it becomes normal, and when it becomes natural, and when it becomes something that you just are doing, and it works. And so for those of you who really are struggling to get out of this and to get out of the habit, are you taking the counsel and the advice that you've been given from this project and from other things, and are you actually applying it to your life and being disciplined in it and living it out balanced, living it out in self-control, and living it out as being an example for those around you, because they need it. They need your discipline. Your children need your discipline. Your children need your authority. Your children need for you to draw boundaries in this area of life. Your children need for you to learn what it is to dig deep into the roots of your heart and your mind and your body and get to the heart of the matter, so that you can teach them to do the same. So that you can teach them how to deal with the really hard things, and to deal with their hearts, and to deal with their minds, and to deal with their bodies, and to deal with the things that people are saying about them that might not necessarily be true, and the things that they might believe about themselves that are not true. And so I really, really want to encourage you that you have the ability to be an authority in this area of wholeness and wellness, but you must yourself walk through it, and your children and your grandchildren and your husbands and your wives and your friends and your aunties and your uncles and your parents, they need you to do this. They need this from you. And so I want to encourage you that this journey it has been about you and about your stuff, but it really isn't about you. It's about your ability to then live wholly and fully, so that you can live and love others on a much grander scale. And so I wanted you to challenge you to discipline, and to really sticking with this. And not bucking the system, and not being stuck in your rut, but getting out, choosing to walk in the counsel of truth for an extended period of time. Not a short bit until it gets hard or until something happens, but on a regular basis, making walking in truth consistently something that you're doing. And so have a good week. Week 9. Go hard after your workouts. Give it all you've got. We've got 3 weeks left. But again, this is a journey of a lifetime. This is something that will go on forever. But what does authority look like to you? What does discipline look like to you? Dive in, think about it. Pray about it. Talk about it. Do it.